I hope his call reconnects or we're screwed. The beeping means he's not answering.
Hello.
Did you get it?
Get what?
This call.
Yep.
I was like, oh god, Dwarven hung up and it's going to crash everything. And then when I tapped out, it stopped my recording and everything.
I'm still here. What month do you have, SKS?
I am on May of year 2.
Okay. I really thought this would go faster. It looks like we're just gonna get half of this first game in and that'll be it.
Yeah, what was the winning criteria?
Earn 10 million simoleons by the end of year 4.
I would be close. I don't know if I'll get it.
Yeah, you probably would. It'd have to be a pretty hilarious fail for you to not make it from where you are now.
So how do recycling centers work?
How do recycling centers work? It's a complicated system. First, it starts with education. You look at the education, you click the education palette, and you look at the education level, and you see 5 of those cap and tassels hats, yes. And however many of those are filled, that's what percentage of garbage that gets converted into recycling. So say you have all 5 hats filled, that's 50% of your garbage that turns into recycling.
Okay, I'm at 35%.
Okay, so about a third of whatever total number of garbage cans you have now would be recycling. And then you make a recycling center, and those recycling trucks on the recycling center go around and pick up the recyclables. They take them back to the recycling center and turn them into whatever lines you put on. Usually you just put on 4 alloy lines, because alloy is the most valuable out of the 3 options. And then those get sent to wherever they're needed. If you're trying to be super efficient about it, you can try to supply a processor factory off of what your recycling center output makes, but it's usually not enough, so you wind up having to import anyway. Or the recycling center will just send it to a trade port and ship it out with the rest of the alloy you're making off your smelters. So the better you educate your Sims, the more money you make off recycling. Every 1,000 recycling bins is 10 tons of recycling output.
Do you have to put out the bins, or?
The bins are put out automatically at 6 a.m. with the garbage from all your RCI.
Oh, okay. So of course I built this at 7 a.m.,
So you may as well turn it off and then turn it on around 5:01, so it'll be ready at 6 for the next day. I don't think it really matters what kind of education you have for your Sims. Even a bunch of grade schoolers can be taught to recycle well.
Well, I just got an achievement for it. Hold on, let me see where it is. It was like green something another, so...
Green plumb bobs.
Yes.
Which means, well, you were probably on time with the placement of your recycling center then. You thought you were an hour late, but you made it.
People are protesting your low land values.
Well, Lottie has.
Yeah, usually that can be solved pretty easily just by looking at the land value map. I'm just trying to figure. You have to look around to see where the mismatched wealth is.
They're just pissed off because it's these things in the middle of the city.
Yeah, it's probably the ore mines.
Oh, they don't like the streetcar stops.
Only high wealth would complain about that.
Well, they're red on the map, so I just figured.
That doesn't make sense. It sounds like a glitch.
Because the road is green, but the streetcar stops are red. Well, they're not red, they're that pink right before it.
Yeah.
That's still negative.
Okay. Looks like you're throwing some recycling vehicles at some people. I see four coming at both cities at Nunda Mistralis. It's actually not an ideal situation because each garbage truck only holds 3 tons of recyclables. So if you really want to support someone through recycling, you need to send about 15 at one or the other. The other thing that's wrong with this picture is that Mistralis has no recycling at all, so you could make quite a lot of money just by throwing a bunch of trucks there. Because Mistralis is fully educated, but it doesn't have any recycling.
Fully educated.
I'm not sure how Bert's doing with his education, so I can't say about his.
No more Omega for local Omega Co. franchise factories.
Yeah, he turned off the Omega before he left, like he said he would. That's a good thing for you. You don't want to have to put up with that. Omega's its own spec. It's really hard. He's barely even getting enough Omega for himself. Let's go look at your city for a second, then I'll check Mistralis. You're up to 2.2 million according to this.
Processor factory.
Yeah. Yeah. The processor factories, you have to be a little careful with them because they absorb tech coming out of your community college or university, and for it works at double the speed.
See, it worries me that it's all about absorbing. It's like you just have to set stuff up on the right route or it gets intercepted by something else.
Yeah. In this case,
it's like they didn't put a lot of thought into that.
In this case, the something else is industry or nuclear power plants. You don't have any nukes, so you don't have to worry about that. But your industry takes tech from your community college as well, and for it you get less pollution. So you have to make sure that, well, how much industry do you have left? Okay, not a lot. So you should be fine with tech-wise. There's some industry to the southwest corner behind your ore trade depot. That's not really getting tech, but that's okay because they're still just tier 1. The ones next to your community college are so close that they're probably getting all tech. They also got some Omega, but that got cut off, so they won't flip either. So we get the Omega map. What got Omega-ized here? Nothing. Okay, that's good. He cut it off. Oh my god, it's not Omega.
What?
I thought I saw Omega in one of your smelters, and that's impossible. And no, it wasn't Omega, it was just some ore showing up on this map I'm looking at. Yeah, you're fine. So if you had other thing about processor factories that you need plastic, and you have no way of getting that unless you recycle or import.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not
On
know.
the other, yeah, in this case, you should probably just keep what you got with the smelters. And one of them's the north smelter's out of power, according to this. And 22 megawatts short.
Yeah, I just upgraded the one.
Okay.
So I should be okay now. Yeah, excess, I have 120 excess.
Good. Not quite enough for another smelter, but that's okay. You probably don't want to build... I don't see you building another smelter. I would build another smelter, but I'm crazy.
I would if I had more room.
Yeah, well, you could... let's look at your... I'm looking at population detail. I wouldn't have any medium wealth at all. And that in and of itself would free up more room for more smelters. Azure Ridge Overlook has 18 smelters on it. That's crazy. Is this high wealth? Wow. Oh, right. I was going to look at the land wealth of your... Yeah, the streetcar stops really are pink.
Yeah, see?
Wow. Mass transit and high wealth sims don't mix.
Which doesn't really make sense.
Well, rich people, they want to ride around in their limos, man.
But in a city simulator, that's still the norm. Or in a city, you know.
Usually, in a Misakura, where there's almost a quarter of the map is high wealth. And I've got there's some bus stops going through there, but surrounding every bus stop is a bunch of high wealth generating buildings like big parks, which to counteract the negative land wealth coming from the bus stop.
Yeah. Well, I just got 161,000 for alloy.
Yeah, that's a cargo truck. I mean, not a cargo truck, a cargo train coming by, picking a bunch up. Sounds like it took the full 40 tons from the sounds of it. You're making about 1.4 million off alloy, and then you're losing about 24,000 an hour, so you're gaining about 800 grand every day, which means you win in about 7 turns. So that means you win around the end of year 2.
Hooray.
And there's no nuke in this city, so you can't die either. The only thing that really kills you is traffic.
Oh, there are places with Omega. This one company right here saying we're running out of Omega.
Yeah, your picture of the game is probably ahead of mine. Those businesses that are running out of Omega, all you can do is bulldoze them right now because they're never going to get more Omega.
Oh, this company. Now that we are Omega company owned, we could start shipping Omega to shops.
That sounds like you flipped some of your industrial. What tier industrial is that? Is it tier 2 or tier 1? Look at the tech level.
High density.
Okay, high density, but what tech level is it? Well, if it's just tier 1 tech, it's no big deal. But when you losing
this
tier...
is a commercial one that's like that.
Okay, then there's no tech levels to lose then. It's not going to get any Omega though, so you may as well bulldoze it now so that it comes back as the same density as it is already. Whenever a building goes abandoned, you usually lose some of the density with it. Like say an arsonist shows up and burns down a building, one of your high density buildings. After you bulldoze it and it tries to rebuild, it comes back. You either get a bunch of low density buildings there or you get medium density. You never get the high density building back right away.
The Penny building. It's owned and operated by Omega too. So should I bulldoze these and let them just rebuild?
Yeah, because the Omega supply got cut. This is the sabotage.
Oh, good lord! He almost. Some of the smelter places are like that.
No, when you're looking at I don't think so. I think the smelters. I think you're
just is raw ore.
Yeah, you're just getting the ore, and not the. The graph is just picking up the ore, not the omega. Smelters don't
It
take.
fooled me.
Yeah, it fooled me earlier too. I'm like,
Pop
omega.
another house of worship? No. I don't think I can even build another house of worship.
No, you can build infinitely many houses of worship. You just have to find room. It's the houses of worship. They're an anti-disaster mechanism. Like in Game B, if we had gotten that far, you probably would have made a house of worship just to make sure no disasters hit your nuclear power plant. That would have been.
Well, interesting. I've learned so much on this first playthrough.
I'm gonna try reloading your city. Hopefully, it's a bit more updated. I didn't see any buildings flip to Omega.
Now these people are just trying to burn shit down.
Yeah. Regional crime is avoidable, but it's more common than you think more common than it should be. Now, in a situation like this, where you're next to the biggest gambling city on the server, yeah, you can understand that. But when you're next to Joe Schmo City with it's all low density and there's no school, then you still get the regional crime anyway, but you don't get any of the benefit because he's not making any money.
It's a creepy looking down the street.
Which street?
I'm like in the main street in the middle of my city, and it goes like down the hill to like the train depot. It's like watching all these people walk up the hill, and there's just like tons of traffic down the road.
Yeah.
I'm glad the city's taking care of the garbage. Awesome, Obi-Wan Kenobi's pelvis is the start of a metal empire. The market's doing so well, soon I can join the 1%.
The 1%. If you have a high wealth, high density district, some of the buildings are actually some of the residential buildings can be named the 1%. Literally.
That's funny.
There's lots of jokes. There's the baby formula and lead paint low density, low tech industry building that almost everybody can see because it's an early building. I'm still not seeing any Omega here. I see one that's trying to go Omega. I probably missed the updates. Probably missed the Omega wave.
Well, I did bulldoze some of them, so.
I'm not seeing any Omega except for one medium density factory, and it's not going anywhere because there's no more Omega coming. So I probably missed it. I'll probably see it after this is uploaded. Oh, what's wrong with the education? Wow, really? Oh, high school is closed. No water.
Yeah, I just had a big water issue too.
It's a very moist map. You got there's a lot of blue in your water table. So you have options. I think I see where the meteors hit you on the east side. There's three.
Oh shit!
There's three big dry circles, which is characteristic.
Oh my god!
It's Spore!
No! What is this shit?
It's here!
No! No! Leaping giant lizards. Oh man, he just tore down a church. Nobody steps on a church in my town.
Well, this is gonna hurt, SKS. This is gonna hurt a lot.
Oh, he's gonna hit there goes my amphitheater. There goes gonna go my bus terminal.
Yep. He's gonna miss your smelter, I hope. You know, it depends on, I'm guessing, his trajectory from just looking at the map. He might graze your first smelter. He's gonna miss your coal power plant and your sewage, which is nice.
What does he go after?
He goes from wherever he spawns on a straight line to your garbage dump.
And then he just hit the garbage dump.
Okay. Well, he's not gonna. He doesn't destroy the garbage dump. He eats what's in the garbage dump. Did he hit the smelter?
No, he's on the very edge of the map.
Okay.
He hit a bus terminal, amphitheater, house of worship.
Yep. Yeah, he went along the.
I was very lucky.
To the map. That could have been a lot worse. You got to rebuild the amphitheater and the two Adam.
He just dug a hole in the ground.
Yep, and he's gone.
Wow.
That could have been a lot worse. Imagine what would have happened if he had spawned at the top left corner near the mayor's mansion.
Oh.
He would have left a big long line of death from your mayor's mansion to your garbage.
Wait, now if I bulldoze this already wrecked house of worship, does it count against me?
I don't know. You're about to find out, because you can't just leave it there.
Because it even confirms, it's like, do you wish to bulldoze the house of worship church?
Yeah. You're gonna get confirmation windows for all three of those, because they were all things you put there. Now, if it was an RCI building that got run over, it wouldn't even ask.
All right.
Because those aren't special.
Oh. Well, hopefully we can repair quickly.
Well, nice thing about hitting plopped buildings is that you can just replop them and they're ready. It's the RCI that takes longer to replace, especially if you had gone through a bunch of upgraded factories that were tier 2 or tier 3. Those, you would have lost the tech levels on those, and that really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll call that a great success.
Yeah.
Now that bus terminal, that kind of
Not really. It's possible to design cities that don't use any mass transit at all.
I excel at my buses, so hush.
Let's see, what is your wait time on your buses? Half hour? Not bad. Half hour on your buses, which is pretty good. How much are you spending on that, though? 10, 11K? Not too bad. That second precinct has been turned off this entire... Oh, it's on. It's on, it needs water, but it's there.
Which one? What are you talking about? Oh.
The one on the east side that's been off for a while, but now it's on.
Yeah, I had to build a water tower over there.
Yeah. That's how it usually goes. You have one main water pump somewhere, and you have a sewage plant next to it to recharge the water. But even then, there's still little holes in your water supply that have to get refilled. There's nothing you can do with proxy pylons, and it sounds like you're playing Protoss from StarCraft.
Wow.
Except it's proxy water towers.
That's That was loud.
I didn't hear it, so whatever it was okay.
It was like wah wah.
Must be the music.
Let's see. Let's build some more residential over here. Okay, well, I feel good that I survived, so...
Yeah, this highway traffic isn't even your fault. It's Bert because he didn't zone enough shopping in his city. So everybody's coming over to yours to get jobs and to get food.
I hardly have any commercials, the sad part.
I'd say you have quite a lot, but then it's all clustered up in the middle-ish.
It's like a big city.
Yeah, you've got so much commercial in your city, you've got a lot of unsold goods just sitting there.
This whole street upgrade thing just makes me... It's like I'm just done. I'm done with it. Thanks, EA. You took something that could have been so simple, and you fuck it up. And you know they tested this.
Yeah. Let's see. Wow, that's all. I'm looking at the area on the west side of your map where the big lizard hit, and that's all. There's a bunch of high-density buildings, and then there's just flat land where the new buildings are being built in, and like, wow, that happened.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Coal. We're running a lot of coal.
What?
Coal power plants.
Alright. Running low on coal.
Smelter or the power plant?
Power plant.
That's trouble. Hopefully there's some... We should be getting coal from the global market, though, since you turned that on. I almost never use coal in my cities, not because I think it's dirty, but because it's just not very space efficient. You can get more power on the same amount of space out of oil. Costs a little more, but the footprint is worth it. If you look at a Misakura, you'll see just how big some of the power plants can be. The nuclear power plant is like 12 blocks big, I think. It's huge.
Let's do some brainstorming here.
Water's the hardest utility.
Well, it looks like this one area that I had a pumping station is dried up.
Yep. What you can do is treated sewage recharges the water table. So if you put a water pump next to a sewage plant, that'll basically cycles the water through the ground, which means you have basically infinite water. When you're trying to do it like this, it's almost like a rat race because the sewage plant and the water pumps have to basically chase each other around your city, and you're always bulldozing both of them and having to basically swap positions with them.
So I got to figure out this water thing here in a second.
Sewage you can put anywhere. Power you can put anywhere, but water you have to pay attention to where and how much pollution is there, which is why water is hard to come by, comparatively speaking to the other two. It's like Oregon Trail 2, you're always running out of water, and then you die.
That's a nice way to put it.
See, I'm logged into Mistralis right now. And see if we can get those recycling trucks coming through here. Sitting here listening to my player piano music in these hotels. In the 1% Inn.
Let's see if this works. Oh, I got another upgrade. What are you all protesting? Well, once I do this upgrade, they'll go up. Be gone. Be gone, peasants. And what's better than having a giant mansion all to yourself? More mansion to all yourself. I'm almost to my $2 million trade daily profit goal.
An upgrade on the trade HQ. The module upgrades to the trade HQ are almost as big, footprint-wise, as the trade HQ itself.
So you think I should get rid of one of these water plants and put a sewer plant next to it?
Yeah. Or you could put the water next to the sewage, but then you'd have to filter the water because that corner of the city is so polluted. Most metal cities I play usually have to run with 2, maybe 3 sewage plants, but since yours only has 3 smelters, you might be able to get away with just 1. And it'd be better if you could get away with just 1, because having 1 really full sewage plant recharges the water faster than 2 not as full sewage plants.
Yeah.
Come on, cops. Catch the arsonist. Nice. Saved my hotel.
Still haven't fixed the issue of color. Maybe I need to put one of these things in control over here on the trains too. That's exporting, it's not importing.
Yeah. Usually, especially when you're on rail or out to sea with your trade, then you need to have separate trade ports for each resource you want to deal with. So if you were wanted to import coal via train, you'd want a second depot. I mean, a second trade port. Partly so the trains don't get crossed up, partly so you get more trains per day.
Interesting situation we have here, Dr. Jones.
It's the beauty of the game. You always have to think about your actions. And your actions can have consequences that you weren't even able to foresee.
This is going to be bad for a little bit, but we'll have to see what happens. Yes, yes, I know you all are happy. Or unhappy. There we go. Hooray! And that's how you do that. You gotta learn how to cheat the system. Look at me, I'm upgrading roads again. How about that? Who would have thought these roads that are orange and red were low density? These over here, well, they're just flat.
Yeah.
See, here's the problem, is some of them I've missed. It's just like, oh, I never upgraded that, and it's right there in that big busy area.
Yeah. This is a game that rewards people who cross their I's and dot their T's. Even that little slither of road between the right edge of the precinct and the intersection can slow down traffic. Especially if you forget to upgrade the avenue from medium to high, because that adds a third lane going both ways.
Alright, so I changed one of my coal plants to a oil plant. That seems to help.
Yeah. It's double the power output. Make sure it's actually getting oil from the global market, because you don't have any oil in your city by itself.
It's bringing it in.
Cool. And my game just crashed again. Because I keep logging into Mistralis, and that's the one with all the tourists.
So it just destroys your computer.
Yeah. And my Origin's offline too, so this is going to be a few minutes. Ah! My poor laptop, it's so dead. Broken keys and all. Whenever I try to press Shift R, nothing happens. With the left shift, the right shift works just fine. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone down while I while this thing reloads SKS. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. larger population. Look at this. Oh my god. It's all the way back to the tunnel. That is crazy. That is crazy shit. I have no words. Which is crazy. All the way back. That is, I cannot get over that. No puss. We'll have to blame him. Trade depot, here's an airport, garbage dump. Roach. Second must be all. Yeah, he doesn't have hardly any commercial. That is crazy, crazy shit.